코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다. 강력한 코어로 더 강력하게.
안녕하세요. 인텔 오버워치 에이펙스 리그 시즌 1 아나운서 강윤지입니다. 지난 월요일 에이펙스 리그 처음으로 해외팀 경기가 있었죠. 정통적으로 FPS 장르의 강세를 보였던 북미와 유럽, 그중에서도 강팀들을 선별해 초청하면서 많은 이들의 관심을 모았는데요. 거기다 세계 무대 속에 한국 팀들의 가능성까지 엿볼 수 있었습니다. 버니와 학살 선수 같은 스타 플레이어들의 탄생도 눈에 띄었는데요. 시간이 지날수록 점점 더 흥미로워지는 인텔 오버워치 에이펙스 리그 시즌 1. 앞으로도 여러분들의 가슴을 뛰게 만들 수많은 경기가 기다리고 있으니까요. 계속해서 지켜봐 주시기 바라면서 오늘의 첫 경기 지금 시작합니다.
Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1 Round Robin. Today's matchup, BK Stars, MVP Space.
Hello and welcome to the Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I am Do. With me is Monte Cristo as always, and we're leading off today with BK Stars coming off their big win over Kongdu Unsia on our first day of the league, and then MVP Space. MVP, an organization that's been around Korean esports for a long time. Now they're getting their start in Overwatch. Going to be an interesting day, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do hope that unlike in some other titles we've casted, we don't have to use the term space prison for anybody in Overwatch.
Yes. I did kind of wonder when I saw that team name. I'm like, all right, what space are you talking about
Especially because
here?
Space actually was doing that show match down in Busan last year for Overwatch. So
I was a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was slightly concerned there. Yeah, but you know, on top of this too, we have Kongdu Unsia, which we met a few minutes ago. Their sister team, Kongdu Pantera, is going to be taking on Reunited in our second best of 5 of the night. And Reunited, tough schedule for them, playing on Monday, now playing again tonight. They are down a match in the group, so tonight really is kind of do or die for them.
yeah, it becomes very difficult once you lose 2 games to figure out a way to actually get it out of the group stages here, considering it's a single round robin best of 5. So it will be tough for Reunited, especially because they lost 3-0.
Yes.
Haxal's Genji running rampant all over them.
Man.
And, you know, they got a tough group. It doesn't get easier for them.
Foreigners, yeah! Woo!
Then the camera back on us, the other foreigners.
Exactly.
in the studio.
Foreigners, yeah! That's us too.
But it doesn't get any easier today
Yeah.
for Reunited. Unfortunately,
Fortunately
Kongdu Panthera currently has all 3 of the top 3 players in the ladder in the world. They have the highest, the team with the highest skill, the average skill rating, I should say, in this entire tournament. So their top 3 players are all in the top 3 of the ladder. Their average skill rating is about 4,300, which is insane.
It's ludicrously high.
So, and they just came off a big win at the Danawa tournament here in Korea, where they dominated LW Blue in the final. So I don't have big hopes for Reunited. I hope we can see something new and fresh from them. But they really did struggle, of course, with their big roster changes coming in. Did throw them for a loop a little bit. Looked like Onigod not quite in sync with the rest of his new teammates yet.
I agree completely. There'll be a lot more time to talk about that in our second best of 5. Let's take a look at the tournament format so far. Of course, we are doing a best of 5. Every type of game will be played in this tournament. As you can see, Control, Assault, Escort, we're doing it all. And which is one of the cool things about the tournament, too. And the loser of the match gets to, or loser of the game, rather, gets to pick the next map. And, you know, you can choose a map or you can choose a side, but why would anyone choose the side?
You're never going to
do
choose
both
the
of those
side.
anyway. Yeah, you're always going to pick the map. Worth mentioning anyway. Ton of teams competing in this. What you don't see there is the 230 teams that competed in the offline or online qualifiers, rather. Biggest qualifier in OGN history over any game in the last 15 years. Made it to 64 teams to the offline qualifiers. 24 teams went through that. The top 12 came to Apex. The bottom 12 going to the Challenger League that's going right now as well. You can kind of see how the tournament works out from there.
Yeah, and as we see the round robin in the group stage, again, it is a round robin of best of 5s. First and second team will advance to a pretty standard quarterfinal bracket, best of 5s in the quarters and the semis, best of 7 in the finals.
That's right, so a lot of money on the line, but one cool thing that we have in this tournament that's kind of new is this fight money, right? There's $1 million, roughly about 1,000 US dollars up for grabs. The winner gets 80%, loser takes home 20%, but just sort of a little extra incentive to play really hard.
Absolutely.
Which of course they would anyway, but you know. Gotta get those dollars, or gotta get those wands.
You gotta get the wands, man.
Gotta get those wands. That's right. It doesn't rhyme as well in rap lyrics. Well, maybe.
Actually, it probably rhymes a lot better.
Getting those wands gonna make me strong. Not this song.
Beautiful like a swan.
That's right. And now I'm gone. Well, there's our groups. As you can see, a couple matches have been played already. Flashflux, BK Stars, Conbox D6, and Runaway, all the first winners in their groups, but a lot of group stages to go yet. Going to find out a little bit more after today. Going to be interesting to see BK Stars play their second match, our first repeat team in the broadcast here. They looked very good, in fact, against Kongdu Onsia. Did go to the final map, but they did come out on top with some pretty spectacular play from their tank burner and their DPS bunny.
Yeah, we've only seen one of the forward teams so far. It was Reunited on Monday. We see them again tonight. Envy will be playing starting on Friday, and then after APAC ends, Rogue and Energy will be joining us from Korea as they move from China, from Shanghai. So they will be here and starting to play in this tournament next week.
That's right. So in any given match, 9 out of the 12 maps are available to choose from. A couple of them removed by organizers before the match begins. So we're starting things off on Nepal, and then the loser of that map gets to pick between Hollywood, Nimbani, and Kings Row. And we are live right now with the new patch, so things might get a little bit spooky, Monte Cristo. We might do the monster match.
Is that what we're going to do?
Maybe.
I think somebody's going to get mashed tonight, though.
I think that's, yeah, I think somebody will. Somebody will. Remains to be seen who then.
Yeah, it is interesting, too, because the patch actually dropped today. And that means that we are dealing, of course, with the Ana, the Junkrat, and the Widowmaker changes. We'll see how big of an effect that has. Probably not too much on the current Beyblade Ana meta, but we'll have to see how it works out. The thing about her Biotic Grenade is, yeah, she got the 20% nerf to her ultimate charge rate, basically, but...
Yeah.
The Biotic Grenade, the switch to from 3 to 4 meters, if you actually think about it in terms of area, it more than doubled in size. That is an enormous buff.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to hit multiple targets now. It makes it easier for her to hit the grenade when she's in close proximity on herself, but not actually commit quite as close to the rest of the fight.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how and if that's going to change some of our Ana players' play styles.
You know, I think the biggest difference that it makes is that we see a lot of pushes, especially on a map like Kings Row or something, reliant on a very early Ana nano boost, whether it's on the Reaper or the Reinhardt. So things like that might get slowed down a little bit, but her ult builds so fast anyway, 20% more of that amount of time. doesn't seem like a lot,
Yeah.
but then again, I mean, we were talking to Bishop from Kongdu Pantera, who actually speaks really amazing English because he lived in Minnesota for a long time, coincidentally. And he was saying that even though he hasn't had a lot of time to play with it, he really did feel like it took a lot longer. But again, it kind of remains to be seen if that will have a big impact or not.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about the Ana ult, like charging it for the first 45 seconds, minute, pretty common.
Yeah.
So if you can get it just a few seconds later than that, I don't think it's going to change much because you're still a lot of the time for Beyblade waiting on the death blossom anyway.
That's
so
a good point.
We'll see. But as you know, with the Reinhardt in particular on some of those early pushes, that may actually have an effect because you don't always wait for Earth Shatter before going in with a nano boosted Reinhardt. In fact, he charges his ult during the nano boost usually.
That's right.
So that actually probably will be affected.
I agree. Well, BK Stars versus MVP Space, and we on paper, BK Stars looks like the team to kind of pick if you're going to bet on this match. But MVP Space, I mean, just a lot of unknowns about these guys. And MVP, an organization that's done very well in other esports. They did well in StarCraft 2. Eventually, they did very well in League of Legends. And they did, fairly well in Heroes of the Storm and Dota as well. So they've been around the Korean scene for a while. When you see that organization name, you have to think they're going to be a good team coming from them at some point.
When people ask me, like, what is the best team in the world for developing talent, usually I say MVP. I mean, that's kind of my default answer. For you guys familiar with League of Legends, MVP, Ozone, and Blue were the teams that became Samsung White and Blue. Eventually, they also were the ones who scouted players like Huni on that third team for Samsung Red, the team that was supposed to go to Europe before the region lock came in, but that was back in 2014, and it was through scrims with Fnatic that they actually picked up Huni off of that roster when the Fnatic was boot camping before the Season 4 World Championship. Not to mention their HOTS team had one of the most epic win streaks in esports history. MVP
like
Black.
34 games or
No,
something?
more
32,
than that.
34 games?
I think more than that.
It was pretty long either way. MVP
Yeah, it was
Phoenix
huge.
obviously doing really well in Dota. And then, in my experience, back in the early days of StarCraft 2, MVP put together some of the greatest Team League teams we've seen and had a lot of good individual players too, like Dongregu, Keen, SC went on to be a HOTS pro. Genius. So it's an organization with a lot of esports history in Korea. Cool to see them come into Overwatch, and it'll be interesting to see how quickly or if these guys can become dominant in yet another game.
Yeah, absolutely. So exciting stuff. On the other side, BK Stars, formed by a very popular streamer named Bokyum here in Korea, who is here but is a substitute player now, considering he is not known for his skill at this game or really any other game.
He's a streamer.
He's an entertaining streamer.
He is.
So he has assembled some other players around him. Most impressively, when we saw them in their first match going up against Kongdu Unsia, was Bunny, their Tracer player, and Bernard, who was their Zarya. And they said in the interview afterwards that they really practiced the Big Bang combo, because what was unique about them was I think that they had the best timing for the Zarya and Tracer ults that we've seen in the tournament so far. Even when a sound barrier would come in, usually Bunny was so expert at like nailing the pulse bomb, so right as the overshield disappeared, it would explode. That way they could get the support ult out and still get the kills that they needed. So
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing this team play this combo, particularly in this first map on a control point where Zarya and Tracer combos are so common.
You're right. It's going to matter a lot. On the map, we're going to our King of the Hill map to start things off. It's time to go to Ilios and see if BK Stars or MVP Space take the early lead. This best of 5. Another great night of matches here on OGN Apex. Can't wait to get started. Let's get in the game.
I get it.
You get it? We got it.
I'm getting it good.
Good. All right. Well, welcome to Nepal, actually. I misspoke earlier. I meant to say Nepal. Nepal. Here we are. And obviously, King of the Hill, 3 points. Best of 3 in our tournament because it's a best of 5 overall. Looks like we're starting out on Village, as you can see in the lower right. And yeah, so got to watch out for the Big Bang from BK Stars. They certainly are doing things quite well, and I don't think we're going to see the Symmetra from Burner. But I heard if you have the vampire skin, they're eyeballs.
Oh, nice.
The turrets are eyeballs.
I actually got that skin in a loot crate today, but I haven't had a chance to
You
take
gonna
a look
play
at
some
it yet.
Symmetra?
No.
See, I actually do still play Symmetra. I like Symmetra. I recognize that she's not that good right now, but at certain points, she's still fun, still effective at lower elos. So, time to get going here. And of course, we're going to see that early high ground fight like we always do. Whoa, Alarm going deep immediately, but it looks like the first kill is going to come in for June on MVP space. Good start for them. Actually, Twilight picking one up as well, but June obviously making a big difference here. We'll see who takes the point early on. Pretty even trading so far.
Yeah, but picking up the kill on the Bunny early was actually pretty crucial right there,
Yeah.
June. And have an advantage here when it comes to getting that first ultimate up.
Wow, Burner going down too.
Yeah, very nicely done. So a couple of quick picks there. That's usually what we see here on Village. It's just a rush for the high ground, and kind of whoever gets that first kill is going to have a good time snowballing it. Bunny does have the pulse bomb though. Burner still working up. BK Stars actually built up a lot of ult charge on that push despite losing the fight.
Yeah, and I feel like you see a lot of teams that are better at playing Village, just kind of not really trying too hard to take the point initially. Nano Boost goes down on the Reaper actually as MVP space, tries to hold on to the point. There's a Pulse Bomb, does manage to take out Burner, still helping out a little bit with that. And BK Stars trying to push back MVP space, not having a whole lot of luck at it just yet. On board with Bunny now. Before he goes down, man.
Wow, right into the Reaper there,
Yeah.
dashing forward. A little bit sloppy, but he needed to reset anyway, so not the biggest deal in the world. Poro here doing a lot of work, of course, with his name. Naturally was a former League of Legends player.
Yep. That kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
It does.
So
It's a big clue.
Like I was saying earlier, I feel like we see a lot of good teams kind of build up this ult charge. Now going for the push, they try to. Poro not really picking up anybody with that Death Blossom. Did he weaken them enough? Doesn't look like it just yet. Burner Alarm picking up kills. Poro can't get much before he goes down. June with that Pulse Bomb, trying to make something happen. Doesn't find a place for it just yet, and it looks like this is BK Stars' moment. Big team fight win. They get the team kill. They take the point.
Wow, that was not a good Death Blossom coming in right there. And the thing is that he saw that their enemy Winston, Alarm, had already been nano boosted going into that point, so he wasn't really going to have a chance to catch up before it got into the control point right there. Doesn't make the most of two ults that are laid down. Now they're fighting backward, but they do have 70% already, and Daly does have the Graviton Surge up.
MVP able to actually take the point back without any real resistance from BK Stars at all somehow. Nice right click on the Twilight there from Daly. Has that Graviton Surge going to go ahead and use it. There's the big bang. What do they get with it? Doesn't look like anything. Still kills coming in for BK Stars. Trying to get that point back. I'm surprised they gave it away so quickly. They have it back now, but seemed like it was kind of just a positional decision. They were able to make it work in the end, I suppose.
Well, the big bang that came in there from MVP space was quickly nullified just by a Zarya shield because they only caught Alarm's Winston inside the crowd control. So not too much gain from committing those two ultimates to it. And it's that quick barrier from the Zarya.
Poro's got that Death Blossom. Going to go in and try to take it back now. He does get nano boosted, looking for a chance to ult. Graviton Surge, he's going to blow it up. Try to blow up the other team, gets two with it, going after a bit more. Burner does go down, but he does manage to take out June on his way out. Still looks like MVP space with the opportunity to take back that point right now. They've nearly got it, they do have it, and they are close to taking point number one on Nepal.
Yeah, they're moving forward now, trying to make sure that they actually can pull this point off, try and get into that choke point. Just a little bit, play a little bit more forward. Here we go.
All right, well.
He's all by himself.
Yeah, Alarm taking a lot of damage, actually taking lethal damage from Poro there. Went a little bit overboard, and BK Stars honestly looking a little bit frantic here at the end of this point. Doyen picks up one.
Nice.
The Deadeye gets another one with the combo. Goes for a third. Gets healed at the last moment. That was a close call. And a grenade coming down, but we're into overtime. MVP space fighting to hold this first point.
Wow.
Nice kill onto June. Doyen on this McCree really making the difference. And BK Stars gives themselves a chance to take this one.
Those two flashbangs that he had really turned the tide of that fight right there in favor of BK Stars, kept them in this game. Now, it did look like they were a little bit ahead of themselves, but it was at 99%, so BK Stars' Alarm had to commit a little bit more far forward than he would have liked. Did die, but on the back end of that, they still are able to pick up a few more kills, and ticking down now.
Oh, ult edge coming in, but Bunny getting the crucial kill on the Ana certainly helps out a lot. Death Blossom used, Bunny still living. There's a Pulse Bomb, what can he get with it? Manages to take out Daly. There's a Zarya out of the way. Graviton Surge going down in the point, as you can see. MVP space working on taking this point back. Bunny is a one-man army right now, trying to be anyway. Doyen, the one picking up the kill. Sound barrier protecting the members of OVERP space. What was that? MVP space. I don't know what's going on anymore. And they're holding it for the moment. Double overtime. Trying to force MVP space off of the point. Bunny on his own can't take out Sylph on that Ana. And now it's desperation diva time as MVP space tries to take it, but it looks like that is going to be about it. But I don't know, we're still going here.
It's ticking down now. Looks like they're going to get it. Nothing to get in onto the point right there. Bunny did most of that work. And the Graviton Surge thrown out early on in that engagement by MVP Space, but they did not have the Pulse Bomb there to combo with it. So they hold on. Nice come from behind victory there for BK Stars.
Yeah, wow.
Early on in that round, looked a little bit rough, getting picked off right at first. And June doing a good job of battling with one of the better Tracer players that we've seen so far in this tournament to get the Tracer on Tracer kills and then turn that into an advantage, but not enough in the end there. The last-ditch attack and Dohyun's McCree play really turned things around. So we are going to go on Shrine. Is our second point.
MVP Space certainly making it look competitive, but to be fair, Village is probably one of the messiest points in all of the King of the Hill maps, so.
My least favorite point, followed by Night Market on Lijiang Tower.
Hard to gauge skill on Village, I think. Certainly don't want to call it skillage.
No, we're not. No. We're definitely not going to be calling it that. BK Stars, though, going with the same composition that we saw last time. Same thing for MVP Space. They're sticking with Poro on the Reaper. Meanwhile, Dohyun on that McCree. Bunny already finding themselves in the back line right there. But the Tracer battles.
Yeah, Bunny doing a good job building up some ult charge, getting some damage done. Chasing down the McCree now. That's a little bit dangerous. Going to be able to get away from him for the moment. Blinking back. Coming back in. MVP Space trying to claim the point first. No healing onto Bunny. Does get out with a recall, though. Has the Pulse Bomb. MVP Space, so the one game kills. Oh, Pulse Bomb completely misses from Bunny. MVP Space claiming the pit. There's the kill from Sylph onto Bunny. A little bit rough. It's that's the second time in a row now that MVP Space has been able to claim the point first onto Paul here.
Yeah, and with the increase to the diameter of the biotic grenade, it's easier to deal with those Tracers in the backline now as the Ana because you have a little bit more room to make sure that you land that onto the Tracer while she's attacking you. And second time we've seen Sylph really handle Bunny in the back line.
Well, K-Star's trying to engage from the high ground here. Shield onto Alarm as he dies in, but Burner goes down nearly immediately. Big Death Blossom coming in from Oro, picks up two, helps up pick up a third, has a nano boost, finally wears off, but that's a solid defense from MVP Space.
Yeah, and Bunny gets Sylph, but it's already after the nano boost goes down. Now they're going to just assault into the upper levels on the side by BK Stars. Dohyun going to run back and see if he switches it up right here. We'll be going for the Genji now.
Okay, interesting. Swapping things over to the Genji. And you know, you do have a lot of opportunity here to just sort of farm up that ultimate. They're going to actually use a nano boost right away on Alarm as he dives in. MVP Space, though, probably wisely backing away from the point for the moment, not wanting to lose anybody. And they won't lose too much. They do lose Palka right off the bat. A couple kills coming in. Dohyun picking one up anyway. Alarm pops out Primal Rage. They really want to make sure that MVP Space can't come back on this point. That might be BK Stars' opportunity here.
Yeah, the switch to the Genji is because they're so concerned with Sylph. Basically what BK Stars is saying is that we always want to have a nano boost advantage. So because Bunny was having trouble with the Ana and getting those assassinations on the backline, in fact losing several of those 1v1s, they're doubling down now. Sylph is that main target that they're going after. We'll see if they can hold it up. Big Bang combo ready for BK Stars. Same thing for MVP Space.
There we go. He jumping in to get the Graviton Surge immediately. There's a Big Bang. Primal Rage negates some of that damage. Dohyun still picking up the kill onto Daily, though. Bunny chasing the Scientist away. I was going to say Ape, and then I remembered he's a Scientist.
That's right.
Not
Always,
a monkey.
I don't understand. Like, technically, all scientists are monkeys because people are primates too, but whatever. I don't know where you draw that line, Noah.
Sure, but a gorilla is not a monkey, though. It's an ape.
Okay. Whatever.
I'm just trying to be specific here. Poro's got the Death Blossom. He specifically wants to destroy MVP Space. He's going to try it. Nano boosted Death Blossom gets two. Dohyun, though, grabbing two for the side of BK Stars. Even fight so far. Poro, though, managing to push the members of BK Stars back a little bit. CP lives though. A lot of kills coming in favor of the blue team. Moro has to back off. Looks like that's going to be about it as Alarm finishes him off. Dohan coming back in to make sure Daly can't get any sort of return fire going, and BK Stars holds it.
Yeah, it's just working out very well, getting into the back line. They have that traditional dive composition that we've seen with the Winston, the Tracer, and the Genji. So it does make it much more challenging to keep your supports alive. And they're trying to reset right now, but they've got to start moving soon. We get towards 85%.
Bunny going after Sylph now. It's revenge time. Tries to take him out. It's a little bit of help from Doyan as well with that. BK Stars holding this point pretty well so far. MVP Space has that sound barrier. They're trying to use it to push in, but not getting a whole lot done with it just yet. Burner with a kill there. Poro able to grab one before he gets taken out. Looks like it's going to be a pretty smooth hold for BK Stars, and they could take the map right here. Nice pulse bomb onto Pelka. Hard to take the Lucio with that. Gotta admit, that looks like it's gonna be about itself trying to get back in time, but
I feel
not exactly the one
so bad for Sylph Doa.
Wow.
They were targeting him to begin with Bunny, and then they just doubled down. And if we talk about the Ana, I mean, he couldn't build any charge at all that game, and this patch, they nerfed the charge to her ultimate. So now if you, it takes longer, and if you can repeatedly kill her, we just didn't see the nano boost coming in. Got a couple nice Death Blossoms off, and Beyblade combinations, but there just wasn't much to work with there after the Genji switch came through, because it was basically a 2v1 in their backline at all times.
Yeah. Well, seemed like Village was pretty close, but then Shrine was fairly dominated, I would say, by BK Stars.
Yeah, particularly after that swap, right? They made that adjustment, and we just didn't see, I think MVP Space, they just failed to make any changes whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't look like they were actually trying to help Sylph there in the back line. They didn't make any hero changes whatsoever.
Well, speaking of changes, I think Doyan obviously deserves the play of the game. Him harassing that Ana certainly worked out. Die. No. It's time to get sliced. Dice. Well, there you have it. Map 1. Going over to BK Stars, and this team continues to sort of surprise everyone, I think.
Yeah, I do like what we saw right there. I do think that BK Stars tends to do better on these control maps just because they are so skilled at using that Tracer.
Yeah.
So when you get in more boxed in situations where there's not quite as much room to move around the control point where you're trying to push forward on a payload, it can be a little bit more difficult to use the Tracer effectively.
Well, we're going to King's Row next, so quite a difference from what we just saw in Nepal. We'll see if BK Stars can recreate their success here. Remember, their first match in the tournament did go all 3 games against Komdu Uncia. So we'll see if they can continue building that lead, or if MVP Space will tie things up. Time to go to King's Row. All right, welcome to King's Row. And this will be a real test, I think, for BK Stars. See if they can bring that scrappy sort of brawling style to, on the first point, I'd say that's probably pretty good. But beyond that, things change a lot when you're trying to defend that payload.
Yeah, to BK Stars' credit, though, they did win 2 out of the 3 escort/hybrid maps that we saw in their first best of 5. So they've shown they can do it. It just wasn't quite as impressive or as clean.
They did lose King's Row, though. That was one of the maps they did lose in their first match. But everything was so close. They were 3-2 on Numbani, 2-3 on King's Row. A little bit better on Dorado with a 3-1. We'll see what they can do today.
So Genji going to come out here. MVP Space is going to make an adjustment right there. June now on the Reaper.
Yep.
So not going to be trying to fight there with the Tracer on Tracer battles once again. So BK Stars not going to stick with the Bastion. Question is, what are they going to switch to?
health packs kind of remind me of the canisters that transform the turtles into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Is that right?
Yeah. They don't
I
say
forget what those look like.
TGRI on them, though. They look like little cylindrical health packs.
Dohyun is sticking with the Bastion, actually, on offense here. So they're running up into the upper part of the hotel right now.
Interesting.
See if they can get through. Where are they going to put this guy?
Probably going to try to put it
That's
behind
clever.
the Reinhardt. Nice Maywall. They're going to get over to this high ground. Let's see if it ends up working, though. I don't know if it did. I think.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks
actually,
like it.
yeah, they've got him up there. Wow, the push actually succeeds. They've got
Wow.
Dohyun behind the Reinhardt now.
That is such a clever May boost with the Reinhardt to get in over the top and set up for this Bastion. So they're going to be sitting pretty right now. Now, there is a Genji, so MVP Space does have a tool to deal with this.
What a play,
They're
though.
just-
The Reinhardt shield down. Uh-oh. I'm MVP Space. I'm getting a little bit worried. Oh, nearly takes on Bunny, or Burner, rather. Bunny did go down. Burner barely survived. Now trying to go on to Dohyun now, but they're keeping him well healed.
Man.
Reinhardt jumped down.
The Genji got slept, and then the Reinhardt jumped down into the charge. So an instant kill onto the Genji. They got the pick
Nano
they
boost.
needed, and the nano boost, yeah, right
Oh,
there.
baby.
And here's the ult, can be used. It's going to come through onto the point right now. Switch to the tank mode, and we'll see if he can clean this up. Dohyun, well, he didn't have to use that right there. Could have saved that one. There was literally nobody. But he might switch after this is complete anyway. I don't know if he's actually going to stick here for the payload, but inventive strategy coming out right off the bat from the BK Stars.
Yeah, and we'll see how long they stick with the Bastion, but at least, until you get a chance to use that configuration tank to push things a little bit farther. And it's the old classic, put the Bastion on the payload strategy.
Oh, boy.
Ah, yes, the beta special, but Poro thinking about coming from behind with this Dragon Blade available.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do here. They did switch off of the May, and Bunny back on the Tracer's got some.
Here we go. Dragon Blade time going right after the Bastion. Does he get him? Not quite yet. No, Daly finishes him off. So no ultimate able to be used by Dohyun. And there's the sleep onto Bunny. The sleep of death. And BK Stars getting stalled out right away. Dohyun, we'll see how long he decides to stick with that Bastion. I think he really wants to use that ultimate.
I think he really does. He may just go ahead and wait here for the nano boost to come up. They're going to push through right now, and he just sits right back on top of the payload.
Why not? Graviton Surge available. Thinking about using that. Dohyun going for a ride on the Reinhardt train.
Yeah, in the old form too. So tank form
Yep.
used finally. I don't think he's going to stick with this anymore. It's kind of been red at this point in time. They've been able to get
There we go.
Space has gotten some good ultimates off. Now he's going back to the McCree, more standard composition. You know what? That's one of those times, Joel, where you're like, yeah, you have ult, but maybe it's a good idea to switch off just a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Okay, Graviton Surge comes down. Big fight for BK Stars. There's a Pulse Bomb. Comes in.
My.
Bunny gets 3. Could get more. No, is pinned by Kuki. And so a couple of kills coming in for MVP Space, but it's still a team wipe in the favor of BK Stars. And there's that Big Bang combo that we know BK Stars is so good at executing.
Yep, get it again right there. You see him just jumping on through. He's going to go ahead and just fire the ultimate right at his feet and then follow it up with Bunny charging forward and gets on the other side too so that he can effectively rain the right clicks into the clumped up crowd control members. And here we go, Doa. There's the sound barrier coming out from BK Stars.
That's right. All right, flashbang dropped on the prone members. Great Earth Shatter coming in from Alarm to set that one up. Dohyun, ooh,
Nice
a headshot
shot.
on Poro. Ninja vanish. And he will make pretty much the rest of the whole team vanish too.
And Dohyun still has the high noon to work with. On the next push, nothing really available here for MVP Space. They're working towards the Graviton, but it's going to be a couple more seconds. Should be up right now, so Daly will have that. And we'll see if we can get a good high noon here.
Well, BK Stars just rolling right through King's Row so far, but this is where it really gets tough. All right, Deadeye used, got to get through that Reinhardt shield, doesn't quite make it happen. Bunny accidentally goes down all by himself. Their Earth Shatter used by MVP Space, but no real follow-up. Trying to flank from the side now as Daly comes around, manages to pick off Twilight in the back lines. It's MVP Space holding the payload for the moment.
They have, of course, the nano boost once again. Oro working his way back up, so a couple, and the defensive ult coming in from Lucio quite soon as well. So BK Star's gonna have to do some poking here, see if they can get this final push done. They don't have a very good ult economy to work with at the moment, so they're gonna have to just sit here and poke for a little bit.
Bunny Thinking about flanking from the side. Nano boost onto the Reaper. Burner ready with that Graviton Surge if he gets a chance to use it. Getting powered up. Running from the Reinhardt. Doesn't have that shield for himself. Has to get away. Nice speed boost from Lucio to help him out with that one. Sound barrier down on MV's space to kind of shore them up during the team fight, but it's looking pretty good so far for BK Stars. Burner holding that ult for so long, really showing great poise, and Poro getting very, very low on that Genji before escaping down to just 6 HP.
That was such a huge commitment from MVP Space, though. They just threw the kitchen sink and nothing worked. The Reinhardt was ineffective.
Oh, goodbye,
Sound
Lucio.
barrier was not used when we saw the attack coming through from BK Stars, and now they've nearly got it.
Yeah, now the Graviton Surge used, and that's going to help Bunny pick up some kills. Doesn't even need to use that Pulse Bomb as
Good
BK
time.
Stars. That was a clean round there on King's Row.
Yeah, 2:29 left, so not the best time ever, but certainly a respectable one. And, you know, I really question the way we saw MVP Space use their ultimates in that last fight. The Reinhardt didn't get anything done while Nano boosted. And in the meantime, when we were looking from Bernard's perspective, well, he just sort of danced around the Nano boosted Reinhardt. But on the outside, their own Nano boost managed to pick up kills. Much more effective use. They got the kills they needed in order to continue to push forward. And the sound barrier, the holds, as you said on the ultimates, very good. The sound barrier used much more effectively by BK Stars.
That really, I feel like, is their strength. They've got the great individual play from Burner and Bunny, of course, but then they really do show that poise on holding the ultimates, using them at the appropriate time. You know, maybe in the case of Doyeon and Bastion, holding onto those ultimates a little bit too long, but, you know, I'd say better too long than firing them off a little bit too early.
Yeah, credit to MVP Space, too, for getting the early picks onto that Bastion.
Yeah.
He did set up in very obvious places, like literally on top of the payload. And when there's a Genji on the other team with his Dragon Blade available, you are going to be very vulnerable in that particular situation, immobilized and sitting in a place where it's easy to dash to. So I think that sometimes you just got to realize that you got to know that the Genji has the Dragon Blade up, and you got to say, okay, it's time just to switch off right now into something that's going to be less of a sitting duck, quite literally.
I agree. Well, K-Stars on the defense now, of course, as we swapped sides. Bunny on the Reaper this time instead of the Tracer. A little bit better of a defensive option so far. Kuki on that Hanzo, and he could stick with it. We've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah, Hanzo's very good on this first point, but they don't have a Zarya to combo with it, which is something that we see not too often. Gonna go with a Winston, no Reinhardt coming in here.
Okay.
They're gonna stick with it.
We'll see. All right, Daly switching over to that Winston yet. And Kuki staying. There we go. There's the switch to the D.Va. So they're just going to try to bull rush their way into this one. Wanted to just get that Sonic Arrow down to see where BK Stars was set up initially. And the D.Va looping around the side, trying to come from behind, and there's the distraction. D.Va distracting on the side. He's going to let Poro come in. Can he get the kills on the Ana in the back line? Going for it now, has to back away as he nearly gets taken out. Gets taken out. Twilight doing a great job of fighting that 1v1 on the Ana. Kuki getting a kill on D.Va before finally being pinned by Alarm, and BK Stars holds it.
Well, they tried to use the Winston and the D.Va to get a very mobile flank around the side right there, but unfortunately BK did have very good target selection, and their Ana stays alive. So at the end of the day, Twilight building up quite a bit of a charge right here, and MVP, I guess they're going to try and hold the Winston maybe on this first Nano Boost.
Probably. It's almost built up. 99, there it is. Nano Boost ready to go. Bunny finding the opposing Reaper. Inside, he's going to get the Nano Boost. There's going to be a defensive Reaper play, going to drop that Death Blossom. Gets 4. That is exactly what they needed. And another push. Absolutely stuffed for MVP Space. And I think they were able to kind of split spawn Kuki a little bit, so that's going to buy another second or two. Let's watch this again.
Yeah, worse is that the Death Blossom killed the nano-boosted Reaper coming out from the side of MVP Space, so they just shut down the ultimate from June, or the ultimate from Sylph, rather, and got a lot more value out of it. So they don't have to worry about a Nano Boost countering coming in right now. Poro has the Dragon Blade, but he's going to get hit by the Earth Shatter and destroyed.
Yeah, great Earth Shatter from Alarm to set up this hold for BK Stars, and they're going to do this quite nicely. MVP Space just throwing themselves at the point again. They've got that big dive composition, and that's, certainly a popular strategy in this first point on King's Row, but so far so good for BK Stars. I got to go back to that individual play from Twilight, fighting off the Genji 1v1 on the Ana, and And man, BK Stars is looking really good across the board today.
4 ults up though, so they're going to
All
go
right.
for it.
Yeah, go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Poro coming in, has that sound barrier to keep him safe as he tries to come apart with the Dragon Blade. Gets one, helps June pick up another one. Best push for MVP Space so far, and it looks like this will finally be the moment for them to take this point to get the payload rolling.
Yeah, they had a huge ult advantage coming into the start of that fight. Only with Bernard, with his ultimate up when things went down, so they don't commit too much either. Just using the Dragon Blade and the Death Blossom. But there is going to be a good time to defend right here from BK Stars as they come back. A lot of meters into the 90% right now, and this is the best point to defend here on King's Row is through this choke point where there are very few ways to get around or get a flank.
You get plenty of time to set up too with how slow the payload comes out.
Yep.
MVP Space actually doing a pretty good job of moving a little bit farther forward and trying to push back the defensive holding point for BK Stars in anticipation of the payload coming up. Nano boost onto Bunny as he comes in, trying to hold even more. Whoa, that was a slaughter. I don't even know where that devault went down.
That was
Didn't
such
end up really mattering.
a good setup from BK Stars because the Reaper was above and to the back where they couldn't even see him, and they just used the Reinhardt ultimate to set it up and knew that the speed from the Nano Boost would allow the Reaper to get there in time while they were still on the ground and CC'd.
Yeah. Twinkle getting pretty close to the sound barrier. They've got the Deadeye again as far as defensive ultimate options, but they do have to give a little bit of ground to this payload in the meantime. Oro looking for a little bit of high ground to charge up that ultimate. Fairly close at 82% now. Sylph has the Nano Boost as well. And Deadeye's are going to try to come in. A flank from Doya. No, he's still in front of the Reinhardt shield. Not able to go through that. Shield is low. Oh, nice flashbang. Can he get the Lucio? If he could, that would be big. Nano Boost onto June, but he has to Wraith form out of that as he gets low. Okay. Trying to hold MVP Space, though. What looks to be a continuing push here. Reinhardt v. Reinhardt. There's the sound barrier going down. MVP Space able to just kind of bulldoze their way through on account of that large shield from the Lucio ultimate. It looks like they'll be able to take this second point.
Yeah, this is going to be an attempt here at a hold coming from BK Stars. They're already into the Foundry, and that's not going to be a kill after the sleep dart onto the Lucio. To go the other way.
Will be a kill on the Daily.
Yeah, Bernard punishes them for overextending right there. They had the projected barrier up to save the Lucio, so the attempt fails.
Yep, they've got about 40 seconds if they want to keep on time pace with BK Stars to finish this one out. He has that Earth Shatter ready to go. BK Stars with a fairly good amount of ults.
Yeah, I think BK Stars here has a chance to hold for at least another minute pretty easily. The ultimates that are available, so.
Nano Boost used somewhere. All right, there's a Graviton Surge as Bunny drops down with that Death Blossom, gets one. Daily ends up eliminating himself there, and that is a solid hold and should buy another 20-30 seconds in favor of the red team.
Yep, 3 ults committed though, Zarya and the Ana and the Reaper.
Yep.
So MVP Space, this is going to be their push to win.
You know, saving that Earth Shatter, though, that's one of those ultimates where by itself, it can change a team fight.
Yeah, it really matters about Twinkle's ultimate, actually, if you can get it up here for the offensive push.
That's it.
You got to survive long enough, and it's 1-for-1 so far.
Earth Shatter goes down from MVP Space. They're going to send the Nano Boosted Reaper in as well. Bunny gets that sound barrier. BK Stars loses a few members, but they trade fairly evenly. Still, at the end of the day, the push continuing for MVP Space.
Yeah, and the sound barrier may be a little bit too late there from BK Stars. They had taken the pretty significant amount of damage before that ability came through. Still going to have a better time no matter what.
Yep. And sleep on the Cookie, but he gets him immediately. Where's that Deadeye? Oh, gets one onto Poro. That's a big kill taking out the Genji. Relieves a lot of flanking pressure anyway onto BK Stars. They get up a couple kills on the outside of the fight now, and just kind of a little bit of a sloppy disengage, I would say, from MVP Space, and that's going to cause them to have to pull back and full reset outside of the Foundry.
1.5 remaining. It's not going to be probably an immediate push with just a Dragon Blade up. MVP Space, they probably got one good push left in them once they build up some ults again.
Well, this is desperation mode now for MVP Space. If they don't tie this map, they're going to go down 0-2 to BK Stars. This is it. They need to make this push work if they want to stay alive on King's Row. Dragon Blade coming in for Boro. This is it. It's do or die time. Looking for a kill on that Reinhardt. Can't quite get it. Has the sound barrier, but still no kills at all. BK Stars with the defense. Doyeon gets one. Burner gets one. Great start for BK Stars, and it looks like they should be able to at least push this into overtime.
I think they were just a little bit too eager. Silk was around 85 to 90% of the meter, and they hit the go button on the Dragon Blade before that happened. So now we're going to deal with a situation, 35 seconds left, but the commitment on the offensive ultimates already has been used. MVP Space has no tools to work with. They'll get maybe one
close.
shot at the Earth Shatter here, but oh man, that is so rough. I think that was just a communication error by MVP Space. They could have waited a few more seconds.
I agree. Kuki's got his ultimate, and there's the Death Blossom used. Doesn't accomplish a whole lot, although it does soften up MVP Space. Kills coming in for Space, so in return, June with a chance here. He had that Death Blossom, he did use it. Sound barrier though for BK Stars should help them hold this point. Whole Hog used by Daly, trying to push BK Stars back. There's a Nano Boost onto June. This could be it. This is their last chance. Gets flashbang, gets taken out by Bunny. BK Stars holding. Desperation though from MVP Space. Burner back on that Bastion, or on that Bastion I should say. And that's kind of a victory lap Bastion at this point, as overtime is over and BK Stars will take King's Row.
That was a really fun match to watch from BK Stars, particularly the push on that first point, using the second floor hotel rush there with the May wall to set up the Reinhardt shield and get that great high ground vantage point over the control point with the Bastion. Really effective. And then it was pretty much a straight roll there after the initial trouble and having to switch off of the Bastion for the actual escort portion of the map. But nicely done, inventive strategy from BK Stars, and they're going to go up here 2-0 overall as we head into our assault mat.
You know, the interesting thing is Bastion pushes like that, you do see on Nimbani every once in a while, because you just have a natural way to get onto that second level. Seeing that on King's Row is a little bit more rare, but being able to use the May wall like that to enable it is really, really cool. And I think that's something that teams are going to have to kind of watch out for. A little bit of cheese they'll have to be, teams will have to be aware of going forward here.
Well, they were just so ready for it too, because even though the Genji was there on the defense, the sleep dart into the Reinhardt charge shut the Genji down, and then it was all over from that point forward.
That's right. So we will take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, map number 3, we'll see if MVP Space can survive.
Let's go! Hey! 나는 자유로운 영혼 하카세 K 골목대장 그 이름 맥크리 저 모자만 보면 신물이 나와 그래도 너프됐다니 잠시 안심했는데 좌클릭 성광난사 속수무책 이 녀석 딜런지 스나이퍼인지 원거리에서 죽여준다네 억울해도 소용없어 넌 이미 죽어있으니 석양이 진다 Here we go 잔자라다라 잔자라다라 짝디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기디기 오늘도 어딘가엔 석양이 지고 있겠지. 아 저놈 진짜 석양충 아닌가요? 우와. 석양이 진다 빵빵빵 겁나게 진다 빵빵빵 내가 석양이란네. 석양이 진다 빵빵빵 길다를 친다 빵빵빵 저놈 혹시 에이매가 아닌가. 억울해도 소용없어 넌 이미 죽어 있으니 석양이 진다. 억울해도 소용없어 넌 이미 죽어 있으니 석양이 진다.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
And welcome back to Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I'm Doa, with me is Monte Cristo, and so far, so good for BK Stars. They're up 2-0 over MVP Space, and, you know, the matches have been close-ish, I guess, but, man, that early push on King's Row from BK Stars, that was awesome.
Yeah, we're going to see more inventive strats as this tournament progresses, no doubt.
For sure, yeah.
And that is something we'll have to be watching for from BK Stars again. We are going into Hanamura right now for our Assault 2 control point, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Map here. It was between Hanamura and Volskaya, the selection, and we will see that again. And
I love their logo.
there is Vokyum shouting, I guess.
It's like, I shouldn't be playing. He's not, don't worry. But yeah, I mean, as Overwatch develops, as more heroes come out, as more maps come out, as teams play longer and get more synergy with each other, we're going to see so many new, like, inventive pushes coming at different geographical locations on maps. And to me, that's really what is going to be fascinating about watching Overwatch.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that diversity and just a point-by-point ability to switch up your heroes.
Yeah.
And that means that you can actually make some of these transitions. I mean, we've seen from Energy them doing the defense on Numbani with Bastion, but that was a new one.
That's right. Time to go to Hanamura and see if MVP Space can stay alive in this best of 3, or BK Stars can take the 2-0. Time to get in the game and find out.
I get it.
All right, welcome to Hanamura, a map we don't see a whole ton of in competitive play in general. But in this tournament, we have a good chance of seeing a lot more of it because there's no bans, so that's awesome. Teams have a choice of what maps they play, but it's limited each day.
Well, we did see Reunited and Runaway play this map on Monday.
Yeah.
And that was part of the Runaway 3-0 victory Genji extravaganza that was courtesy of Haksal. And we are going to see Poro The first point here, running that Mei, not a surprise, one of the most effective heroes on Hanamura because there are only 2 entrances.
Huh. And Poro just put Sylph up on the roof there. That's interesting.
So nice early boost
Yeah.
coming in from the Mei wall. So we got a lot of tanks here. No Zarya for MVP space.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising.
Yes, June going to be on the McCree instead, where we would normally expect to see a very tank-heavy composition, but a little bit of extra damage. They're not quite as reliant on picks. And BK Star is going to go for highly mobile heroes to zip in to the control point and prevent them from holding endlessly right at the choke.
Yeah, the idea is you dive in and scrap as aggressively as you can to not have to deal with any of those ultimates. Twilight going high, takes a lot of damage early on, but gets onto that Roadhog. Hook
Nice
though,
pick.
takes out the Lucio. Yeah, really nice pick from Daly on that Roadhog. MVP space trying to defend, 2 kills on each side so far. Burner grabs another one, Bunny grabs one for himself, and BK Star is starting to have a lot of success here on point A, and it's a long run back for the defense.
It is, and there we go.
Wow.
Nice hook onto Bunny right there. BK Stars still with Twilight right there onto the control point. Bernard still putting out that damage, so it looks like they are going to be able to hold even through the whole hog.
Or like Troll Hog as Diva negates that out completely.
Yeah, there's devouring the shrapnel right there. So BK Stars actually with a very fast time on the first point, and they're going to have a huge ult advantage going into point number 2. And this is one of those scary points on Hanamura where you can finish this map so fast if you execute this push well.
Yeah.
You win that first fight, you get more ult meter, and if you get your ults down on the second point, you can just win immediately.
Can be extremely snowbally. Twilight actually takes out Daly with the Diva ultimate.
Uh-oh, Reinhardt.
Over the top. That's right. Reinhardt's ready to go, and they've got the Pulse Bomb onto Bunny as well. And Dragon Blade coming down. BK Stars again with such a huge ult advantage. Poro staying alive with that ice block for the moment anyway. And hacking away at it. The Mei though making it work. Was that a nano boost onto the Mei? It was. Whoa. Don't move. Diva gets frozen after that Earthshatter comes in. BK Stars though trying to defend. Pulse Bomb from Bunny takes out Kuki. Poro goes down to Dohyun in the end, and BK Stars looking like they might be able to just roll through this. Bunny being so effective on that Tracer.
This would be a ridiculous time here. 6 minutes left. Sylph going to rate form onto the point, but he's going to go down immediately thereafter.
And that is nearly it. We'll see one last defense coming in for MVP space. They've got to do it now. Poro walling himself off in the corner just to try to buy time for his team. Bunny, though, just untouched on this Tracer. He's just having a field day, and there it is. 5:48 remaining for BK Stars, and that can happen on Hanamura.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have a 3 ults to none advantage coming into point number 2.
Yeah.
Their initial push was so convincing, and yes, that is why a lot of players do not like Hanamura in particular, where you win that first fight and it can just get so ridiculous so fast. Volskaya also can happen to, I think, a little bit of a lesser degree on. No Temple of Anubis here, which does make it a little bit harder, I think, for most teams just to snowball immediately off of that first point.
Yeah. So time to find out if MVP space can recreate the success of BK Stars. I mean, it's certainly possible, but not easy.
Yeah, credit to Bunny there. I was a little bit worried about that push. Yes, they were holding on pretty well, BK Stars on the point and pushing back the defense, but when they used the Diva ultimate, I think they used it a bit early, trying to get it into the corridors by the spawn. Didn't actually end up killing anybody, and meanwhile, the Mei got back on the point. I was like, ooh, maybe that one should have been saved to use like directly in the air over the point instead, but
It's
didn't
tough.
end up mattering.
I mean, it's tough to say because he did kill the Roadhog with that. So, and getting that Roadhog out of the way when you do that early push is, it looks like Dohyun wants to change, is really nice because you don't have to worry about that pick potential coming in. Roadhog obviously soaks a lot of damage with his high HP, so, you know, it's hard to say, but either way it is nice to not have to deal with the Roadhog on that push. My rock.
Alarm's king of the mountain right there. Dohyun did not change. He just died.
Oh.
Okay.
Huh. I mean, you got plenty of time to come back, so sometimes it's fun to just jump off the edge of the world, right?
I've actually never found it fun to do that, though. In fact, I've never even tried it because,
How do you know it's not fun then?
well, you only get one chance to find out if that's fun or not, though, in life.
Hey, you don't know what happens. I mean, if it's really the edge of the world, you could go into a whole nother realm of existence. See, our Earth is round, though, so it doesn't work like that. But in Overwatch?
I'm not willing to take that risk, though. I'm sorry.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's what I say. Sylph, coming in on that Anna, trying to keep everybody alive. There's that big grenade coming through. Shots on the Winston. June picks up a couple early on. It's a good push so far for MVP Space as they move into the point.
And do lose Pelka right there, so trying to fire with Yana from the outside and just keep up some of that healing while the poke goes through the main doorway. They are going to get the mech right back onto the Diva, so that's a big win right there.
Looks like they are going to be forced back in the end as the Zarya dives deep. Wow, Burner maybe going a little bit too deep there as he's got a long run back now. Daly trying to take out the Anna, but she got the health pack, so that's going to be hard for him to survive.
Oh, he wins actually the 1v1, and that's a little bit of a, that's a dead scientist. That's going to be a little bit of a waste there of the nano boost. Silk did have to use it right as he was going down, so committed to it instead of saving it for the respawn, but instead it manages, BK Stars now managing to push MVP Space back out of the point.
I love the wave from Alarm after he got that kill, man. You gotta throw him the wave once in a while.
Look at the style out there, man.
Say hi to the camera, right? MVP Space, it looked good early on. You know, June picked up a couple early kills on the Reaper, but eventually they were pushed all the way back. Silk down to half health now. Ooh, that's rough.
They are going to pay, though, for not having the nano boost up.
Oh boy, all right, well, no kills for Dohyun. But he does get one, though. They've got the sound barrier to try to defend this here. If they can.
Sound barrier coming in from Pelka soon.
Yeah.
Dohyun's still he's gonna get the nano boost actually.
All right, well, it's good to put that on the McCree sometimes if you're McCree and can aim. Do too much work on it though. It's MVP Space still trying to push that flashbang, not hitting the Genji. Gonna still chase him down. Moro a bit low, gonna dash through it. There's the kill. Punchin Ninja. I guess in the battle of Cowboys versus Ninja, now we know who wins.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's,
maybe nobody wins this
yeah,
time.
nobody may win this one.
Wah, wah, wah.
So we'll see what the issue is here.
Wow.
Coming into that game is a good hold. 1:50 left.
Now, they did just institute pauses, of course, in the custom game, so it looks like it was
nice.
a pause. I don't believe the game crashed or anything there.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to be dealing with an issue from Dohyun right here.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't kill that Genji fast
I
enough.
missed my flashbang.
That's right. Did you see me miss my flashbang? This got something wrong. Pause. Keyboard issue.
Wow. An overlay that says what the problem is doing.
This is amazing. We've never had in years, years of casting.
I've never seen this in any tournament ever.
It's so fast.
We're breaking new ground here, though, with
I'm giving
esports production.
I'm giving the play of the game to our graphics guy after this, man. Wow. Keyboard issue. Questions eliminated.
Wow, this is amazing. This is the best thing ever.
It is.
This is the best thing to happen to esports casting in years.
I've got like a perma-smile on my face right now because I've never seen an actual indication of what the issue is on an esports broadcast before. Wow, go us.
Go OGN.
Isn't OGN great?
They are constantly innovating.
Good job, OGN. Well, we're still paused a little bit, as you can see. Action shot of McCree there. Or maybe he's just doing lunges. There we are, back in the game. Thank you to Blizzard for instituting a pause function to begin with, otherwise that might have gotten very awkward.
Yeah, in the first
Just in time.
the first esports broadcast with the pause feature implemented, it will be taking a good effect. And you know what? Didn't mess up anything. We already had the reset coming in from MVP Space, so no action interrupted.
I don't think so. Sound barrier comes in as MVP Space goes for another big push there. Still slowed down. Oh, the pulse bomb misses for Bunny, though. That's the second time he's missed it, but hard to land one on the Anna. Tucking, crouching, making the moves, recalling. Can he do it? Oh, I think he grabbed the health pack, too. No, it did. Go over to Sylph. Wow, what a battle, but eventually the Tracer backs away, and man, power of a good Anna. Scary for Tracers everywhere. Meanwhile, MVP Space, though, making some headway on the point. It looks like they're going to get this one.
Yeah, they are, but they're going to have no hope of getting anywhere near as good of a time. Already, as you can see, a minute back for MVP Space, and it's not the same situation. BK Stars now with the defensive ultimate advantage.
Yep.
The Poros will be coming up soon, so BK Stars has every opportunity here to hold out on point number 2.
Here we go. All right, and Diva out of the suit right now. Poro pops that Dragon Blade, gonna go in on the Reinhardt, gets a kill there. A little bit of headway, couple kills on each side. Run, Tracer, run! Poro chasing, he's slow himself, gets the heals, trying to reflect it to Dohyun now. Gets the kill in the end. Burner, though, finishing him off in a bit of revenge. Meanwhile, Sylph can't quite survive the attack from Bunny now as Bunny picks up another one on the Reaper as well. And he's not done. Going on to the Lucio. Great defense from BK Stars on the back of Bunny.
Yeah, they didn't even have to commit too much to that either, Doa. They've got their Nano Boost up right now, so Nano Boost versus Nano Boost going to be effective. Looks like MVP Space is going to make an attack with a Nano Boosted Winston. Or, well, they got the Reaper Death Blossom almost up, so we'll see. They're going to hold out for that. MVP Space has not shown the best discipline in waiting for ultimates and timing them well.
Yep. All right, well, sleep onto the D.Va for the moment. That's going to delay things slightly. And there's a Nano Boost. They're going to send Alarm in there. And he's going to get slept immediately, though, by Self. Poro's going to pick up a couple kills on that Genji. And MVP Space taking the high ground. We'll see if the Pulse Bomb gets anything done. Doesn't look like it really was able to do too much. June has the Death Blossom now as they jump into the point. Looks like MVP Space, this could be their opportunity to try to take this round.
And they got the 2 early picks, but Burner's already back up, so they didn't get onto the point immediately. Still making it work, though, and June's coming in with the Death Blossom.
Gets a couple. Bunny's still untouched, though. Takes a bit of damage now after the ones on the ground. Gets a few. Dohyun helping out there as well. BK Stars fighting back. Looks like it's going to be a hold from BK Stars. If this Pulse Bomb works, Staley getting the kill onto Dohyun. Never mind. MVP bringing this one back around, and Dohyun with 1 hit point in the battle with the Ana. Backing away, still survives, gets to the health just in time.
Woo. The 1 HP Tracer right there, disrupting that backline. Sylph still
Did work.
I mean, the Bionic Grenade himself and get back out of the fight.
You know, every time it looks like MVP Space has the second point. Doesn't work out.
Burner
Burner onto the Bastion now.
That is a very forward position for the Bastion, too. Does get slept, but not before he can take out Kuki.
I question whether robots can sleep from a sleep dart, but I guess we'll just let him have that one. I don't really see how that works, but
it's a hacking dart, though.
Okay,
I just disabled. It's an EMP dart.
Hack dart. It puts little nanobots in you that either induce the brain to sleep through electric impulses, or it works on actual circuitry. There we go. Figured it out.
I mean, the D.Va sleep dart's a little bit suspect too, right? Because the back like falls over and goes to sleep.
Well, it's the electrical impulses. It messes with the robot's mechanical functions. There we go. I'll be writing lore from now on. June gets frozen. Does a little bit of damage here. D.Va ult doesn't claim a whole lot. Dohyun going after the Genji in the back lines, looking for that kill. On to Poro. Not finding it though. Bunny does take out June, which is pretty nice, and Burner with a kill as well. So BK Stars once more pushing MVP Space back. They're down to about 1:30 left on the clock. So yeah, if they're able to finish this, they are going to have virtually no time left in the time bank round.
Yeah, and at least they got the Dragon Blade up though, but nice zoning there from Dohyun, pushing into the outside area and trying to just make sure that he wasn't going to get into the mix as he got closer and closer to his Dragon Blade. So tying him up in that 1v1 proved effective.
Yeah.
But with the sound barrier, they're going to have the ability really just to nullify the Dragon Blade.
Oh, does he reflect? Waiting for it. No! Reflect outlasted by Dohyun's Deadeye. And that's BK Stars with another easy hold.
I mean, why didn't Pelka use the sound barrier right there when the high noon was coming through? Seems like a missed opportunity.
You know, I wonder if maybe
they've got one push right now.
I wonder if there was maybe a May wall that blocked him off line of sight-wise from the sound barrier. That happens a lot, actually. That's one of the better ways to negate the possibility that sound barrier is a well-placed May wall.
I mean, but right now BK Stars has 2 huge crowd control ults up from Zarya and May. Should be able to take over the point with those abilities, and even though the sound barrier advantage going over to MVP Space, I don't know if they're going to be able to do much with it. We're going to have to wait.
Dropped immediately, sound barrier used this time. Dragon Blade coming out for Poro. Couple kills coming in, 3 kills for BK Stars already. Nice Earth Shatter.
Beautiful.
Onto the Genji as he dashed in, and BK Stars have got this, and that's going to be about it. MVP Space doesn't really have ults to work with at this point, and looks like BK Stars has a really good chance to take the match right here.
Yeah, 3-0 it should be. BK Stars had 3 huge CC ultimates up. It allowed them just to outlast and outplay the Dragon Blade. And that's going to be at the last push, not going to be successful. So BK Stars goes up 2-0 in their group.
Yeah. And a pretty convincing second match against MVP Space. You know, coming into this one too, and we had the chance to see these guys in a few scrims as well. They didn't look like they were quite on the level of some of the other teams in the tournament, and it shows. But BK Stars not only looking well coordinated, but bringing some unique strategic decisions as well in that push on Kings Row.
I'm really afraid of BK Stars when they hit these assault and these control point maps, just because their ability to use CC and effectively operate with the Tracer ultimate is one of the more impressive things we've seen from a team here.
Yeah. Compositionally, they really seem to be able to play too the optimal way to approach each point. Going for a very methodical, kind of a risky push, honestly, and Kings Row right into a very straight-up defensive diving push on Hanamura, but both executed equally as well.
Good
Very
stuff.
cool.
MVP space, looks like they've got a little bit to work on in terms of coordination. I think we take a look at that last map, and maybe they're not exactly using their ultimates in the most optimal way. Throwing them out without a lot of gain some of the time, or kind of failing to plan properly for what their enemies had when it came to those cooldowns.
That's right. So that will end our first best of 5 here on Overwatch Apex. And now you can't go anywhere yet, because even though we're going to have a little bit of a commercial break, when we come back, it's going to be Kongdu Pantera versus Reunited. So Reunited coming off of their 3-0 loss against Runaway. And we will see if they're able to bring it back in the group. Take a match against Kongdu Pantera. It's not going to be easy, though. Pantera is coming into this tournament looking like one of the best teams in Korea. But
yes, they are.
only one way to find out.
And they're fresh off the Danawa tournament win.
That's right.
Going to be difficult, I think, for Reunited tonight.
That's right. So right after this, we'll be back with our second match of the day. Kongdu Pantera versus Reunited on Overwatch Apex. Don't go anywhere. Match number 2 coming up very soon, we would imagine. But sometimes you never really know with the Korean broadcast. We'll see. Oh, we will. All right, see you soon.
Coming up next, Team Kongdu Pantera, Reunited